Ponce de Leon, he was the governor of Puerto Rico, and he heard a story from the natives there in Puerto Rico that there was a legend of an island somewhere to the north. It had treasures of gold and silver and magical mystical waters that would grant everlasting youth. So Ponce de Leon set off to find that island. Some people think they were talking about the island of Bimini, which is north of Puerto Rico, but like I said, it's a legend. Nobody's ever found it. Nobody's ever found that fountain of youth. But Ponce de Leon, what happened with him is he ended up on the east coast of Florida, somewhere here in St. Johns County. And when he got here, it was Easter time, springtime. All the trees
That's gonna be
were
so funny
green,
for
all the flowers are
it
blooming like they are now. So he ended up naming this area La Florida, or La Florida, land of the flowers. He never found any treasures, and he never found the fountain of youth. And I don't know how he missed it, but you see that big sign over there at the Fountain of Youth? How did he miss that sign, right? You know what it was? Ponce de Leon didn't read English. That's how he missed it. So anyway, nah, it wasn't there, guys. Anyways, we're going to go take a little trip by the old jail. Now, the old St. Johns County Jail was built over here and opened up back in 1891. It was... the old jail was originally located downtown by Flagler College there. But when Mr. Flagler came to St. Augustine to build a hotel, he didn't want that nasty jail by his fancy hotel, so he had it built over here. That's going to be the big pink building coming up on our right side. The first part of the building is where the jail is.
That's the jail.
And the far side of the building is where the sheriff and his family lived. Now, if you take a look to the right, you can see the gallows over here. That's where they hung people. They've had 8 recorded hangings here at this jail. And what I mean by recorded hangings is there was only 8 recorded. There was probably more than 8 hangings here.
You see it? Look up. Look at the rope.
Where?
That's where they hung them.
Hey, bottom neck? Yeah, but neck.
They're so cruel.
For real.
They ain't say no hello.
You want to kill people.
Committing suicide.
Now, we come around this side, you take a look to the right side. This is our, this is what we call stop number 1 for the old town trolleys, but you got the old jail here. This building coming up on our right side that's got the front porch on it, the yellow building, that's the oldest store museum. They've got a lot of products in there from the early 1900s and stuff that people used to use, like, anybody ever have a goat-powered washing machine?
What are feet?
They would put a goat on a treadmill, they'd hang a carrot in front of him, and he'd walk that treadmill, and that's what would run the washing machine. They were thinking, guys.
That's some bad weather.
Now that school bus is blocking our view. I was going to show you the trailer that's underneath the flags over there. But you know what we're going to do? We might just take another little loop around the block here and head downtown. And that's what we'll do.
Fountain of Youth.
Okay, this black trailer coming up on our right side under the flags here, they call that the Manly Convict Car. That is a portable jail. Back in the late 1800s and the early 1900s, they take a chain gang from the jail here out to a work site so they could do work for the state or whatever. But they'd have to bring them back to the jail every night to lock them up. That trailer right there took care of that problem. They'd put them in that trailer, and they'd lock them in the trailer and just leave them out at the site. So now think about being in Florida in the summertime, especially here in St. Augustine. Here in the summertime, you got about 20 of your best buddies in that trailer with you. A million mosquitoes, and everybody got a plate of beans for dinner. Oh, beautiful place, right? You ever heard of a man named Ray Charles? Oh, Ray Charles, he went to school up the road there to our left about a half a mile. That's the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind up there. That's where Ray Charles went to school. Anybody hear the story of why he got kicked out of that school? Anybody know why? Okay, now if you don't know who Mr. Ray Charles is, he was a musician, jazz singer, writer, rhythm and blues, whatever. And he was blind, okay, but you know why he got kicked out of school? Stole a car. Now, how do you do that, right? How do you do that? Well, he was with somebody that stole the car is what it was. He just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
See why you gotta pick your friends?
So, did y'all enjoy the Fountain of Youth tour? Everybody get a sip of that water?
See why you gotta
That's what's going to happen tomorrow morning. You're going to wake up, you're going to be smaller, and you won't be able to get in your clothes. Your clothes are going to be way bigger than what they are today. You're going to start going turning younger again. See, I took that water, look. See, I lost all my hair. I'm going back to my babyhood when I was bald as a baby.
No.
Oh, that was bad. Okay, this street we're turning on here, guys, this is Magnolia Avenue. This is one of the top 10 most beautiful streets in the United States, according to National Geographic magazine.
Hit him. I did hit him.
And this is not the street that Forrest Gump walked down. Some people ask me that sometimes. This is not the street. That's in Savannah, Georgia. This one here in St. Augustine is kind of like it. Kind of looks like it.
Hang her head out the window.
No,
like a
I'm
dog.
Don't lie on me.
My daddy. I'm just kidding.
Look at how pretty the tree is.
All right, this wall that surrounds the Fountain of Youth area here to our left, that wall is called Tabby Wall. Anybody ever hear of that before?
No.
It's a defensive wall. It's made out of a coquina. It's man-made. It's made out of a coquina substance, but they put bacteria-laden oyster shells in that stuff. It's a defensive wall to keep people out. And back before they had antibiotics, if you were to climb up on that wall and get cut by one of those shells, you get a bacterial infection. Number one, it may make you sick. Number two, you may lose a limb. Number three, you may even die from that cut. So that's why it was used as a
What's
defensive
in there?
wall. The reason why it's still there is just because it's part of history. Now, we're going to jog on through here.
Well, now we have antibiotics.
We're going to go see the oldest resident of St. Augustine here real quick, guys. It's this big oak tree coming up on the left side of the trolley.
Oh, that's my second one. That's our bus.
This big oak tree is over 630 years old, guys.
Dang, 630.
This tree is 30 years old, guys.
You guys know what a live oak means? Live oak means he never loses his leaves. He stays green all the time.
Hello. How you doing?
We call that old tree right there the old senator because underneath that tree he casts a big shadow of shade and his limbs are all crooked.
Hello.
He's the old senator. The older folks on board might appreciate that more than the kids. They don't understand that one yet. Yeah, they'll learn. So, all right, guys. After Ponce de Leon got here, the Spanish tried to settle this territory about a half a dozen times, but none of those settlements ever took. Finally, in 1564, there was a settlement here, but it was not the Spanish. It was the French Huguenot or Huguenot. That means Protestant. And in this case, they were Lutheran. And what they did is they built a fort north of St. Augustine up in what we call the Jacksonville area. They called it Fort Caroline. But when the King of Spain found out that the French were in his territory, he got pretty mad and upset. He got his best admiral at the time. His name was Admiral Pedro Menendez. He told him to come over here and do three things. Number one was to get rid of the French. Number two, put a permanent Spanish settlement here. And number three, Catholiциze all the natives. So Menendez gathered up his fleet, his troops, and about 600 settlers. They headed on over here. And on September 8, 1565, they arrived. This big cross out here to our left marks the spot where they landed. We know that's the spot because the priest that traveled with Menendez, his name was Father Francisco Lopez. He kept a very strict journal or diary, actually diagrammed the shoreline out there for us, so that's how we know that's where they landed. This area here to our left is called the Mission Nombre de Dios. Who knows what Nombre de Dios means? Mission, name of God. That's the mission. And that is where the United States started, right there, guys. We didn't know that until 1821 when Florida became a state.
Dairy Queen. Let's go to Dairy Queen. Right there.
Oh, baby.
Used to be Plymouth Rock, right? Plymouth Rock was the beginning of our country. Well, in 1821, when Florida became a state, right there where that cross is, became the beginning of our country, right there. All right. Well, Menendez, he got his people and his troops over here. And what he did is, shortly after
Did
they
they-
got here, there was a hurricane that came through here. But Menendez, he marched his
Did they
troops
show-
through the hurricane up to Fort Caroline, and
You
they
gotta
took
be on
the fort
YouTube.
very quickly. It was lightly guarded. The French fleet that was usually at the fort up there had left.
Hey, don't hit my
Menendez
phone.
was down here. So they came down here to attack him. Well, Menendez, he hears that news. He marches his troops right back down to this area.
You want Jeremiah?
About 15
You wanna
miles
be on
south of
YouTube?
here, he found the French fleet. They were shipwrecked. They went through the same hurricane that he
Oh,
marched through to get up to
boy.
Fort Caroline. And that hurricane tore the French fleet apart. He found about 200 survivors down there. He took them all prisoner. Put them in 2 groups of about 100 each. And the very first day that he had them prisoner,
Oh,
he took the first group of about 100.
My
He
stepdad.
asked them one question.
Enemy.
Are you Catholic? They all said, no, we're French Huguenot. He had his men march them 2 by 2 behind the sand dunes down there, and he put them all to the sword. The second day, he gets the second group of about 100. He asked them the same question. But these guys heard what happened to the guys the day before, so when he asked them if they were Catholic, they all said, no, but we want to be, thinking that that was going to save their life, but it wasn't going to.
I didn't say
He didn't have the
anything. I
supplies to
didn't
keep
say
any
anything.
prisoners. He just had his men marching behind the sand dunes down there, and he put them all to the sword. And that's how our bay got its name, Matanzas Bay.
That's a lot
Matanzas
of
is Spanish
cars.
for slaughter.
For real, look.
Killing place.
Another Charlie.
Who knows what coquina is?
Oh, I thought you said
You guys
cocaine.
know what coquina is?
I thought you said cocaine.
Yeah, a little bit, some. Made out of sea life, seashells, limestone, sand, and water. Quarried on Anastasia Island across
Cocaine
the
is
bay from
liquor.
here. You're going to find a
Cocaine?
lot of things are made out of
drugs.
coquina here in St.
It's
Augustine.
drugs, too.
This building right here to our right, that's all coquina, and there's a big ball of coquina right here under the trees on our right. That's the eastern marker for the old Spanish trail that goes from here to San Diego, California.
You should put it in a ponytail.
Oh.
We are coming up to a part of town known
Oh.
as the Kubo Line, the Northern Defense Wall. A pirate or privateer, his name was Sir Francis Drake, destroyed St. Augustine. He killed a lot of people, and when he left, people came back to the city, and they made it a presidio or a walled city. That's the northern wall.
It
The
looks like
sea
the
gates
Great
are on
Wall.
that wall. They're made out of coquina. They were originally made out of wood. They
Cocaine.
would lower the bridge during the day. People come out in the jungle, do their hunting and fishing. They go back in the city gates. They raise that bridge back up.
Smell like something.
That's how they protected the city.
Smell like jerky.
If you take a look to our left, that is the Castillo de San Marcos. That's the oldest masonry fort in the United States. It's made out of coquina. A pirate, his name was Robert Searles. He came to St. Augustine, he destroyed the city, and he also burnt down the last wooden fort that was over there. So after his attack, the Queen of Spain authorized the building of that fort. Now they quarried almost 500,000 blocks of coquina.